It's Friday. I just walked past an area where I heard a really weird noise and some kind of a weird silence. My ankle monitor's data points will place me in places where, as strange as this may sound, against any allegation of my culpability in anything, that I could not have been in any particular place, to have been around any particular people, to have gotten to them, no contacts to set up any kind of anything. I'm obviously not, the culprit of any particular wrongdoing, if there perchance is any. My son's lives and mine have been threatened, as you will discover in 16 CFO 5795, 17 CVO 3589, several other cases, and parole violation hearing transcripts, and some other significant data that my mother has in Delaware. That my children's lives have been threatened again, and mine, by a law enforcement officer and his cohorts, several of their associates as well, regarding some issues I had discovered while living in that officer's aunt's house for 2 years as my state parole agent. I learned of significant racketeering influenced, corrupt, and very organized family's activities, and they do perpetrate the fraud of being just average people and in the community. Their lifestyle seems to dictate something entirely different, but it's just an artifice over the truth. There's child trafficking, illegally prompted adverse possession processes, the red tagging of homes, so that the red tagging officer may make allegations of code enforcement deficiencies, or deficiencies in code rather. So the appraisal value of the house goes down, and thereby the bank is willing to take at auction a lesser amount for the houses that they try to acquire with a mortgage, and for those, again, without the adverse possession process. But it's illegally prompted, again, by getting the guy out of the house by various methodologies and paying off the taxes on the house to acquire it. Now, in these processes, some other stuff happens. From women get pregnant by sex offender registrants, things of that nature. They home birth the child and traffic the child. A lot of it going on. The Butte County Sheriff's Office said they made investigations into the allegations made within my letters several years ago. However, that declaration made by Lieutenant Agurkis in 17 CV00150 was attached to a workplace violence restraining order that the jail had against me over the letters I had written, pointing the finger at one of their officers as being involved in that ring. So they turned it into a restraining order. However, I was in custody on the day of what would have been trial on the issue, and I was kept in custody and not allowed to go, to both either defend myself or defend against the request for a continuance of the temporary orders, which is actually what they did, and which both, either way, in effect, kept me from being able to put the lieutenant on the stand and ask him a few basic questions regarding, did you ever interview me regarding the allegations in the letters? No, he would have had to have answered. Do you have any way to quantify by documentary evidence that you did the investigation you said you did? Perhaps warrants for IP addresses or IP logs regarding the emails that were hacked by those involved, which covered up some evidence that I had. No, he would have had to have answered. Several other questions along that line, and he signed his declaration under penalty of perjury that, again, the Butte County Sheriff's Office had did an investigation regarding the allegations made within my letters, and there's no evidence to support them. Well, that's at item number 11 of Lieutenant Jared Agurkis' declaration in that case, and he did no investigation. They kept me from going to that proceeding that day again, so I could not put him on the stand and get him impeached or get him shown to be perjured. The point of this is that if they point to that as showing that they did an investigation, they never did one. There is a trafficking ring in this town. I am a liability to those who have gotten so many officers feeling as if they're inculpated, when truly they are not. But it's the general public who don't quite understand what level of circumvention tactics officers apply to other officers. And it's very difficult to get it out into the public, how that happens without defacing the face of public trust. So it's a very difficult moment around these here parts. So making an example of someone close to me is what they would do to try to get me to shut up. But that just leaves us under the yoke of their oppression for the rest of our lives, and with the loss of a child or something to that effect. which I will not allow. I will fight to the end. Thank you.